Chase, let's get up to speed. Dealer profitability is a hot topic. One of our automotive news articles documents the different causes of the profitability highs and lows. And of course, it's always contingent on vehicle brand and geography as well. Fortunately, one of the factors that dealers can control is attracting qualified consumers. And so understanding consumer behavior has become essential. That said, in one of the latest Cox Automotive research studies, we saw that only 2 in 10 dealers are tapping into all the insights that are available on consumer behavior and consumer activity. In that same study, it shows that 9 out of 10 dealers are aware that the insights exist. So, Chase, why do you think we're not seeing more dealers dig into these insights? Why the hesitation?
Yeah, right. You said it right. The question is, why not all this data out there? Do they not trust it? Have they had a bad experience with a prior vendor? Was the data not timely? A lot of things can really lead into that bad experience. And an irrelevant communication, as you know, does more harm than irrelevant communication does good.
And I think, you mentioned data and the quality of the data, and it's sort of directly connected to the quality of, that consumer. So, Chase, give us some practical advice because managing data for dealers is at wildly different levels of sophistication and automation right now. So, we could almost quantify it with a new term, like data literacy. So, depending on a dealer's level of data literacy, what should they be doing to stay current? And what are the expected areas of ROI?
Well, Emma, that's a great question. It's one I hear from dealers often. And there are really two keys to this to me when it comes to this data literacy. And one would be choosing the right data source and kind of finding the most timely and complete data source that can span across multiple websites if possible. So the other thing I would say, stick with first party data when you can get your hands on it. It usually has the best, most timely info on whatever that customer is doing online. And then also consider what you have your tech stack doing, how it's working with that data. Are you automating it to what point, or what point do we enter your staff to help create those great customer experiences? Because can't really do it entirely on technology today. At some point, there's probably going to have to be a human involved, and so that handoff is really important as well. And so, look, quality real-time, data is just foundational to whatever we're doing. So, to give you a little bit of a flavor on how we do it at Cox Automotive, our solutions are not only powered by some of the most leading industry websites, but that also comes with the first-party data. So, we see 82 million unique visitors per month across our 3 mega sites, which is Autotrader.com, Kelley Blue Book, and Dealer.com. And that gives insights spanning the entire customer journey. Now, so what, Chase? Boil all that down. And it basically means that in Vin Solutions, we can predict a customer that can buy that is 8 times more likely to buy than the next customer in your database, which will give you a huge advantage. If it's the end of the month and I need to hit 3 cars for dealer cash, I know where I'm going. I'm going to the folks that are the lowest hanging fruit in that tree. And then the other thing that recently we came up, which is really cool as a former desk manager, is stepping outside of buying signals is our solution called Deal Pulse, which is basically beginning to reverse engineer the car deal and give insights to the dealers on, what's going on with the financials of the customer. We ask the dealers, what do you want to know about all this journey, this AI, this URL path? Shocker, it was the Foursquare. And so we basically reverse engineered that. So now you can see that the customer submitted the $500 down payment like you get on every other lead you've ever gotten in your life. But we can also now, at Deal Pulse, show that the range that the customer configured payments with underneath that amount, and kind of empower that dealer to really, make the most out of that deal from the customer experience side and also for the profit side. So some really cool things that we can do. And we got to remember, a lot of folks went from, the showroom to buy a car to the couch. And when that happened, dealers, I think, lost a lot of control. And it's harder these days to know if you're on the right car. Am I on the right color? Am it's the right payment? Because they're not setting in front of you. And so today's tech stacks can help dealers regain some of that control and kind of learn the tells of a digital customer and not just understand what they submitted, but also their entire journey online. And so doubling down on that can really, one, provide a better customer experience and then in turn, more profitable deals.
Wow, powerful stuff, Chase. And knowledge is power. And you've talked about so much of that. I want to thank you for joining us today on Up to Speed.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Emma. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Chase.